Hey everybody, welcome back to the Metal Mill 52 workshop. My name is Bill. We're building an LBSC Tich locomotive, little 040, 3.5 inch gauge. And this is a short little supplemental episode. I just finished installing some little 0090 screws, little brass screws here, countersunk, flathead countersunk, and perfectly fitted to keep the smoke box together, the smoke box door assembly that can't go anywhere now, and of course the smoke box connected to the boiler. There's two sets of screws on either side. I think that'll be sufficient to keep everything together. So stay tuned for the next couple of minutes and I'll show you how I did it. It was a lot of fun, a little short project. Hope you all have a great week. Ask any questions that you might have. Thank you, everybody. I wanted to thank everybody that chimed in about the screws to fix the smoke box to the front smoke box cover. What I'm doing here, I'm taking your advice and installing some 0090 screws. They're very tiny and they're countersunk little flathead brass. You can see them. Let me show you what I'm doing. I've carefully marked the places and I used my spring-loaded punch, little Starrett spring-loaded punch, to make a divot for starting the drill. Then I'm drilling with the number 61 drill in my Dremel, and I'm basically just holding it like you would a pencil. If I can kind of demonstrate this. I'm doing it two-handed, that's why I didn't take any video of it, but basically like this, and just patiently just drilling through as straight as I can get it and as perfectly tangential to the work. So I've done that one and this one, and here then I'm using the tap held in a pin vise and very carefully going through. I just finished tapping this lower one through, and I'll show you the screws and stuff in just a second. Let me pull this out. Hadn't planned on videoing, but I thought this would be a good stopping place just to go ahead and show it. So you can see the little tiny 0090 tap, and here's, I keep all this stuff in an Altoids tin, 0090 tap drills and screws. The ones I chose to use, these are some miniature railroad screws. They're brass. I'll have to cut them off, but they're very, very tiny 0090 screws. They're 3/8 inches long, so I'll have to cut them off. But I was just gonna install them first and then cut them off later. And I'm using, you can see the bright, shiny, I'm using my OptiVisor with the lights on. So now that I've gotten that done, now I'll countersink it, and of all things, I'm using a handheld drill, a real old-timey coffee grinder handheld drill. I've had this thing for probably 45 years now. I made the handle for it out of a piece of oak from a pallet. That's a whole nother story, but it works great for stuff like this. So that's how I'm making the countersink, and then putting the screw in there, and then I'll be able to file that smooth when all is said and done. So my plan is just to put 2 in this side and 2 in this side, and the same for on the others. So there'll only be a total of 4 of them total. Okay, day 2 of fastening the smoke box to the boiler. Well, actually yesterday all I did was I put in the 4 screws here to fasten the front of the smoke box to the smoke box ring in the front assembly there. About ready to do the back 4 screws. I'm doing these in, it's a 1/4 inch overlap here, so I've inset my screw, the center of it, to be 3/16. So I should clear the boiler and come in right at the end there. One thing I wanted to show is I put some woodworking clamps on the boiler connected to the front there, just to take on any slack or sag out of it. It fits pretty tightly, but just to be on the safe side, I'll put the screws on, the clamps on there, so that I can go ahead and screw those in and be assured that I've got the boiler is fully mated, fully inserted into the smoke box. I think I'll make this the short video. I'll make this the last episode in it. Wanted to show how nicely that worked. Those are 0090 screws, little flathead screws that I countersunk and put in there. I don't know how I got this one on kind of mismatched, but I'll be painting that, so it's not gonna show anyway. But I put the steam dome and the chimney on there just to give it a little look. Let me show you what after soaking in the pickle and then cleaning with soap and water, that fixture for the sight gauge, it looks like it was born there except for the messiness of it. So pretty happy there with all of that. Again, appreciate the suggestions, everybody. I'll post this as a short little supplemental video and hope you have a great... Oh, the next thing I'm going to work on is a fire door cover. I need to do that, so that'll be the next episode. But I appreciate all the suggestions and input from everyone and hope you have a great week. Thanks, everybody.